Have you ever wondered what would happen if you started each day by programming your mind to attract success, abundance, and purpose? Based on the timeless wisdom of Napoleon Hill, today I'll take you on a powerful journey with 7 affirmations that will not only change how you think, but how you live. These phrases, inspired by Hill's principles, are keys to unlocking your potential and becoming the person who magnetizes success. Get ready for a deep, practical, and transformative journey that will give you the tools to forge an unstoppable mindset. Let's get started. Imagine that every morning when you wake up, you have the opportunity to write the script for your day. What words would you choose? Napoleon Hill taught that your thoughts are the mold of your reality, and affirmations you repeat with emotion and conviction can reprogram your subconscious to align you with your greatest dreams. Hill, after studying leaders like Andrew Carnegie and Thomas Edison, understood that success isn't a fluke. It's the result of training your mind to believe in your greatness before the world sees it. These 7 affirmations, inspired by Napoleon Hill's philosophy, are more than words. They're seeds of transformation. By repeating them daily, you not only change your internal dialogue, but you build a bridge to a life of purpose and abundance. Are you ready to take control of your mind and your destiny? Prove you're a true follower of Napoleon Hill's wisdom. Subscribe now and join this community of dreamers who apply his principles to create extraordinary lives. Let's see how many of us believe in Hill's power. The first affirmation Napoleon Hill would inspire is, "I have a divine right to live in abundance, happiness, and fulfillment." This phrase is a powerful decree that connects with the essence of what Hill taught. Poverty is a mindset, not a destiny. Hill observed that many people limit themselves by thinking that abundance is for a few, but he insisted that we all have a spiritual right to prosper. When you repeat this affirmation, you are declaring to the universe that you recognize your worth and your purpose. It's not arrogance. It's aligning yourself with the truth that you were created to expand, not survive. Hill would say, wealth begins in the mind. For example, imagine Edwin C. Barnes, who, with no money or connections, convinced himself he would become Edison's partner. His belief in his right to succeed drove him to achieve it. Say it every morning with conviction. I have a divine right to live in abundance, happiness, and fulfillment. Feel your energy shift. What would change about your day if you truly believed you deserved the best? The second affirmation is, everything I need to succeed is already within me. Napoleon Hill emphasized that the power to achieve your goals lies not in external circumstances, but within you. Hill recounted how, beginning his research with no experience, he trusted in his ability to learn and grow. This affirmation frees you from dependence on external approval or resources. Hill taught that God plants a dream in your heart, along with the seed to achieve it. For example, if you want to start a business, you don't need to wait for the perfect moment. Start with what you have: your creativity, your determination, your faith. Repeat this phrase every morning and remember, you are not waiting for success, you are building it from within. Hill would say, the man who knows what he wants is halfway there. What action would you take today if you fully trusted your inner resources? The third affirmation is, I am in perfect harmony with the universal energy that guides me. Napoleon Hill believed that a mind aligned with a higher purpose is invincible. Hill observed that great leaders like Carnegie seemed connected to a higher force that sustained them through difficult times. This affirmation reminds you that you are not alone. You are part of a divine order that supports you. When you repeat it, it centers you, calms anxiety, and opens your mind to clarity. Hill suggested that inner harmony attracts solutions and opportunities. For example, if you face a dilemma, say this phrase and trust that the answer will come. Hill would say, faith in a higher force dissolves obstacles. Try this. Before an important decision, take a deep breath and repeat, I am in perfect harmony with the universal energy that guides me. Do you feel your perspective shift? The fourth affirmation is, I act today with discipline, courage, and clarity. Napoleon Hill insisted that faith without action is useless. Hill recounted how Henry Ford, after 2 business failures, acted with discipline to found Ford Motor Company in 1903. This affirmation is a reminder that every day is an opportunity to forge your destiny. Discipline means doing what is necessary, even without motivation. Courage involves moving forward despite fear. Clarity is keeping your goal in focus. Hill would say, knowledge is only power when translated into action. For example, if you want to write a book, commit to writing 300 words a day, even if you don't feel inspired. Repeat this affirmation and act as if you are already the person achieving your dreams. What task have you been putting off that you can tackle today with this mindset? The fifth affirmation is, my thoughts shape my reality. I choose to think of unlimited possibilities. Napoleon Hill taught that your mind is a magnet that attracts what you think about constantly. Hill explained that if you focus on limitations, you will find them, but if you think of possibilities, you will create them. This affirmation empowers you to take control of your internal dialogue. Hill recounted how Thomas Edison, after thousands of failed attempts, kept his mind focused on the possibility of creating the light bulb. When you repeat this phrase, you train your mind to see opportunities where others see problems. Hill would say, you become what you think about most of the time. Try this. When doubt arises, counter it by saying, my thoughts shape my reality. I choose to think of unlimited possibilities. How would your day change if you only thought about the possible? The sixth affirmation is, I am destined to make an extraordinary impact. Napoleon Hill believed that every person has a unique purpose and that recognizing it sparks your greatness. Hill admired leaders like Carnegie, who not only built an empire, but donated his fortune to educate generations. This affirmation connects you with your mission to leave an impact. It's not about fame or empty wealth. It's about living with purpose and authenticity. Hill would say, greatness is deciding that your life will be an inspiration. For example, if you teach, repeat this phrase to remind yourself that you are shaping minds. Say it powerfully. I am destined to make an extraordinary impact. Feel your posture change. What would you do differently if you believed your life was destined to inspire? The seventh affirmation is, my faith always overcomes my fears. Napoleon Hill wrote about how fear is the greatest enemy of success, but faith is its antidote. Hill recounted how he himself faced doubts when undertaking his research, but his faith in his purpose kept him steadfast. This affirmation trains you to choose confidence over fear. Hill taught that faith doesn't eliminate fear, but rather transforms it into energy to move forward. For example, if you fear public speaking, repeat this phrase before going on stage. Hill would say, faith is walking in fear, knowing you are not alone. Say it every morning, my faith always overcomes my fears. Notice how your heart grows stronger. What fear would you face today if you trusted your faith? If you're enjoying this journey through Napoleon Hill's wisdom, click subscribe. It's free, and you have no excuse not to join this community committed to applying Hill's principles. Show that you're ready to transform your life. These 7 affirmations inspired by Napoleon Hill are more than words. They're a ritual for reprogramming your mind. Hill taught that auto-suggestion, repeating ideas with emotion, is the key to influencing your subconscious. But it's not enough to simply say them. You must live them. Hill suggested writing down your affirmations and reading them in front of the mirror every morning. For example, if you seek prosperity, visualize your goal while saying, I have the divine right to live in abundance, happiness, and fulfillment. Hill would say, your subconscious believes what you repeat to it with faith. How would you integrate these affirmations into your daily routine? Consistency is vital, according to Napoleon Hill. He observed that successful leaders like Ford didn't achieve instant results, but rather persisted daily. Hill suggested committing to these affirmations for 30 days to see changes. For example, spend 5 minutes each morning repeating them with emotion. Hill would say, repetition creates beliefs, and beliefs create realities. Imagine the impact of 30 days thinking, everything I need to succeed is already within me. What changes would you notice in your confidence? Emotion is the fuel of affirmations, according to Napoleon Hill. He explained that the subconscious responds to feelings, not just words. Hill recounted how Barnes would get excited, imagining his alliance with Edison, and that emotion propelled him to action. When you say, I am in perfect harmony with the universal energy that guides me, close your eyes and feel the peace of being connected. Hill would say, emotion is the spark that ignites your dreams. How can you add more emotion to your affirmations? Authenticity is key, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed your affirmations should reflect your true desires, not those of others. Hill suggested reflecting, what do I really want? Before saying, I am destined to create an extraordinary impact. Make sure you are passionate about your goal. Hill would say an authentic purpose is unstoppable. Are your affirmations aligned with your heart? Gratitude amplifies affirmations, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that being grateful for what you have and what is to come attracts more blessings. Hill suggested combining affirmations with gratitude. For example, after saying, I have the divine right to live in abundance, happiness, and fulfillment, add, thank you for the opportunities that are already on your way. Hill would say, gratitude opens the doors of the universe. How can you incorporate gratitude into your affirmations? Mental clarity is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that a confused mind produces confused results. Hill suggested meditating before your affirmations to calm your mind. For example, take 3 deep breaths before saying, my faith always overcomes my fears. Hill would say, a clear mind creates a clear future. What do you do to keep your mind focused? Persistence is the hallmark of effective affirmations, according to Napoleon Hill. He recounted how leaders persisted even when they didn't see immediate results. Hill suggested repeating your affirmations even on difficult days. For example, if you're feeling discouraged, say more forcefully, everything I need to succeed is already within me. Hill would say, persistence turns words into reality. Are you committed to repeating these affirmations daily? Active faith is the core of affirmations, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that faith isn't passive. It's a daily choice to trust in your potential. Hill recounted how Lincoln maintained his faith despite defeats, which led him to the presidency in 1861. When you say, I am in perfect harmony with the universal energy that guides me, trust, tell that the universe is conspiring in your favor. Hill would say, faith moves mountains. How can you strengthen your faith every day? Intention transforms affirmations, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that the intention behind your words gives them power. Hill suggested setting a clear intention before your affirmations, such as, today I choose to grow. For example, before saying, I act today with discipline, courage, and clarity, decide that today you will do your best. Hill would say intention is the rudder of your destiny. What intention can you set for your affirmations? Simplicity is powerful, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that you don't need complex phrases. Clarity and repetition are enough. Hill suggested keeping your affirmations short and direct. For example, my thoughts shape my reality. I choose to think of unlimited possibilities is simple yet profound. Hill would say, simplicity amplifies impact. Are you keeping your affirmations clear and direct? Consistency creates habits, according to Napoleon Hill. He observed that successful leaders built daily routines. Hill suggested integrating your affirmations into a morning ritual, like after brushing your teeth. For example, repeat, I am destined to make an extraordinary impact as you prepare for the day. Hill would say, daily habits forge destinies. How can you make affirmations a daily habit? Resilience strengthens affirmations, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that setbacks test your commitment. Hill recounted how Edison persisted through thousands of failures. If you doubt your affirmations, say it louder. My faith always overcomes my fears. Hill would say, challenges hone your greatness. How will you maintain your affirmations? In the face of challenges, authenticity in your voice is key, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that your affirmations should sound like you. Hill suggested personalizing them so they resonate with you. For example, instead of, I have the divine right to live in abundance, happiness, and fulfillment, you could say, I deserve a prosperous and fulfilling life. Hill would say, your authentic voice moves your world. How can you make these affirmations sound like you? Immediate action empowers affirmations, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that taking action immediately after affirming reinforces your commitment. Hill suggested taking a small action after each affirmation. For example, after saying, "I act today with discipline, courage, and clarity," write down your most important task of the day. Hill would say, immediate action is the fuel of success. What action will you take immediately after your affirmations? Gratitude for the process is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that being grateful for your growth, even before seeing results, accelerates your progress. Hill suggested reflecting, "Thank you for the lessons that bring me closer to my goal." For example, after saying, "Everything I need to succeed is already within me," give thanks for your ability to learn. Hill would say, gratitude accelerates success. How can you be grateful for your journey? Clarity of purpose amplifies affirmations, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that knowing why you say these phrases gives them power. Hill suggested defining your purpose before affirming. For example, if your purpose is to inspire, say, "I am destined to create an extraordinary impact with that intention." Hill would say, a clear purpose is your compass. What is the purpose behind your affirmations? Faith in the process is crucial, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that trusting that your affirmations will work, even without immediate evidence, is key. Hill recounted how Barnes trusted his goal without initial proof. He repeats, "I am in perfect harmony with the universal energy that guides me, with the certainty that the universe supports you." Hill would say, faith in the process creates miracles. Do you trust that your affirmations are transforming you? Strategic action reinforces affirmations, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that your actions should align with your words. Hill suggested planning your steps after affirming. For example, after saying, "My thoughts shape my reality. I choose to think of unlimited possibilities," identify an opportunity you previously ignored. Hill would say, strategy turns words into results. What plan can you create to support your affirmations? Gratitude for opportunities is powerful, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that being grateful for the doors that will open strengthens your abundance mindset. Hill suggested saying, "Thank you for the opportunities that come your way." For example, after saying, "I have the divine right to live in abundance, happiness, and fulfillment," give thanks for future possibilities. Hill would say, gratitude attracts more blessings. How can you be grateful for what is coming? Authenticity and commitment is key, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that your commitment to affirmations must be genuine. Hill suggested promising yourself not to give up. For example, say, "My faith always overcomes my fears," with the promise not to give up. Hill would say, an authentic commitment is unbreakable. Are you fully committed to your affirmations? Resilience in the face of doubt is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that doubts are normal, but they shouldn't hold you back. Hill suggested countering them with stronger affirmations. For example, if you doubt your ability, say, "Everything I need to succeed is already within me," with greater conviction. Hill would say, doubt is only an echo, faith is your voice. How will you confront doubts with your affirmations? Clarity of intention is vital, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that the intention behind your affirmations defines their impact. Hill suggested starting each session with a clear intention, such as, "Today I choose to be the best version of myself." For example, before saying, "I act today with discipline, courage, and clarity," choose to act with purpose. Hill would say, clear intention creates clear results. What intention will guide your affirmations? Consistent action is the core, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that daily repetition builds massive results. Hill suggested setting a fixed time for your affirmations, such as 7 a.m. For example, repeat, "I am destined to create an extraordinary impact every day at the same time." Hill would say, consistency is the bridge to success. How will you make your affirmations consistent? Gratitude for change is transformative, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that being grateful for internal changes reinforces your progress. Hill suggested reflecting, "Thank you for the person I am becoming." For example, after, "My thoughts shape my reality. I choose to think of unlimited possibilities," give thanks for your new mindset. Hill would say, gratitude. For change attracts more change. How will you celebrate your transformation? Authenticity in faith is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that your faith should be your own, not borrowed. Hill suggested connecting your affirmations to your personal beliefs. For example, if you believe in a divine force, say, I am in perfect harmony with the universal energy that guides me. With that connection, Hill would say, authentic faith is your anchor. How will you make your faith personal? Resilience in the face of failure is key, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that failures are lessons. Hill suggested using affirmations to pick yourself up. For example, after a setback, say, my faith always overcomes my fears more forcefully. Hill would say, failure is just one step towards success. How will you use your affirmations to overcome failure? Clarity of outcome is powerful, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that visualizing the outcome of your affirmations makes them more effective. Hill suggested imagining success by saying, I have the divine right to live in abundance, happiness, and fulfillment. For example, visualize your prosperous life. Hill would say clarity of outcome accelerates success. What outcome will you visualize with your affirmations? Courageous action is transformative, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that affirmations should inspire courage. Hill suggested taking bold action after affirming. For example, after saying, I act today with discipline, courage, and clarity. Contact someone influential. Hill would say, courage turns words into deeds. What courageous action will you take today? Gratitude for faith is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that being thankful for your faith strengthens it. Hill suggested saying, thank you for my unwavering faith. For example, after saying, my faith always overcomes my fears, thank you for your confidence. Hill would say, gratitude for faith creates more faith. How will you give thanks for your faith? Authenticity in daily purpose is key, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that each day should have a clear purpose. Hill suggested aligning your affirmations with your daily goal. For example, say, I'm destined to create an extraordinary impact, thinking about your task for the day. Hill would say, a daily purpose is a day one. How will you give purpose to your affirmations? Resilience in the face of criticism is vital, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that criticism shouldn't hold you back. Hill suggested using affirmations to stay grounded. For example, if you're criticized, say, everything I need to succeed is already within me. Hill would say, criticism is just noise. Your faith is your guide. How will you use your affirmations in the face of criticism? Clarity of action is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that your affirmations should translate into clear steps. Hill suggested identifying a specific action after each affirmation. For example, after, my thoughts shape my reality. I choose to think of unlimited possibilities. Write down a new idea. Hill would say, clear action creates clear results. What clear action will you take today? Disciplined action is the foundation, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that discipline turns affirmations into habits. Hill suggested following a strict schedule for your affirmations. For example, repeat, I act today with discipline, courage, and clarity every morning at 6 a.m. Hill would say, discipline is the foundation of success. How will you make your affirmations disciplined? Gratitude for clarity is powerful, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that giving thanks for mental clarity strengthens your focus. Hill suggested saying, thank you for the clarity that guides my steps. For example, after saying, I am in perfect harmony with the universal energy that guides me. Give thanks for your clear mind. Hill would say, gratitude for clarity attracts more clarity. How will you give thanks for your clarity? Authenticity in vision is key, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that your affirmations should reflect your personal vision. Hill suggested visualizing your future when affirming. For example, say, I am destined to create an extraordinary impact, imagining your legacy. Hill would say, an authentic vision is your beacon. How will you make your affirmations reflect your vision? Resilience in the face of uncertainty is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that faith sustains you in the unknown. Hill suggested using affirmations to foster confidence. For example, in uncertainty, say, "My faith always overcomes my fears." Hill would say, "Uncertainty is the province of the brave." How will you use your affirmations in the unknown? Clarity and faith is vital, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that a clear faith eliminates confusion. Hill suggested affirming with certainty. For example, say, "I have the divine right to live in abundance, happiness, and fulfillment." Without hesitation, Hill would say, "Clear faith creates clear results." How will you make your faith clear? Immediate action is powerful, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that acting immediately after affirming reinforces your commitment. Hill suggested taking a small step after each affirmation. For example, after saying, "Everything I need to succeed is already within me," write down an idea to move forward. Hill would say, "Immediate action is the engine of success." What will you do immediately after your affirmations? Gratitude for purpose is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that being grateful for your purpose strengthens it. Hill suggested saying, "Thank you for my clear purpose." For example, after saying, "I am destined to create an extraordinary impact. Thank you for your mission." Hill would say, "Gratitude for purpose attracts more purpose." How will you thank your purpose? Authenticity in action is key, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that your affirmations should inspire authentic actions. Hill suggested acting in harmony with your values. For example, after saying, "I act today with discipline, courage, and clarity," do something that reflects your essence. Hill would say, "Authentic action creates a legacy." How will you make your actions authentic? Resilience in the face of change is vital, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that adapting to change makes you unstoppable. Hill suggested using affirmations to embrace change. For example, during a change, say, "I am in perfect harmony with the universal energy that guides me." Hill would say, "Change is the domain of winners." How will you use your affirmations to adapt? Clarity of commitment is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that a clear commitment to your affirmations makes them effective. Hill suggested promising yourself not to give up. For example, say, "My faith always overcomes my fears," with the certainty of following through. Hill would say, "A clear commitment is unbreakable." How will you make your commitment clear? Inspired. Action is powerful, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that affirmations should inspire passion. Hill suggested connecting with your purpose when affirming. For example, say, "I am destined to create an extraordinary impact," feeling your passion. Hill would say, "Inspired action moves the universe." How will you make your affirmations inspire you? Gratitude for resilience is key, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that being grateful for your inner strength amplifies it. Hill suggested saying, "Thank you for my unwavering resilience." For example, after saying, "Everything I need to succeed is already within me. Give thanks for your strength." Hill would say, "Gratitude for resilience creates more resilience." How will you give thanks for your strength? Authenticity in gratitude is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that gratitude must be sincere. Hill suggested giving thanks from the heart. For example, after saying, "I have the divine right to live in abundance, happiness, and fulfillment," express gratitude with genuine emotion. Hill would say, "Authentic gratitude transforms your world." How will you make your gratitude sincere? Resilience in the face of rejection is vital, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that rejection is part of the journey. Hill suggested using affirmations to stay grounded. For example, after a rejection, say, "I am destined to make an extraordinary impact." Hill would say, "Rejection is just one step toward success." How will you use your affirmations in the face of rejection? Clarity in daily vision is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that every day should have a clear vision. Hill suggested aligning your affirmations with your goal for the day. For example, say, "I act today with discipline, courage, and clarity," thinking about your key task. Hill would say, "A daily vision is a day one." How will you give vision to your affirmations? Aligned action is powerful, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that your actions should reflect your affirmations. Hill suggested evaluating, "Does this support my affirmation?" For example, after saying, "My thoughts shape my reality. I choose to think of unlimited possibilities." Take action by exploring a new opportunity. Hill would say, aligned action creates strong futures. How will you align your actions with your affirmations? Gratitude for daily faith is key. According to Napoleon Hill, he believed that giving thanks for your faith each day strengthens it. Hill suggested saying, "Thank you for my daily faith." For example, after saying, "My faith always overcomes my fears," give thanks for your daily trust. Hill would say, gratitude for daily faith creates a life of faith. How will you give thanks for your faith each day? Authenticity and resilience is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that your resilience must be your own. Hill suggested connecting your affirmations to your personal strength. For example, say, "Everything I need to succeed is already within me," feeling your unique resilience. Hill would say, authentic resilience is your shield. How will you make your resilience authentic? Clarity in daily action is vital, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that every day should have a clear action. Hill suggested identifying a key task after your affirmation. For example, after, "I act today with discipline, courage, and clarity," write down your priority for the day. Hill would say, clear daily action creates extraordinary results. What daily action will you take? Daily strategic action is powerful, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that daily actions should align with your vision. Hill suggested planning your day after affirming. For example, after, "I am destined to create an extraordinary impact," organize your day to move forward. Hill would say, daily strategy builds destinies. How will you plan your daily actions? Gratitude for daily clarity is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that giving thanks for daily clarity strengthens your focus. Hill suggested saying, "Thank you for today's clarity." For example, after saying, "I am in perfect harmony with the universal energy that guides me," give thanks for your clear mind today. Hill would say, gratitude for daily clarity attracts more clarity. How will you give thanks for your daily clarity? Authenticity in daily faith is key, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that your daily faith must be genuine. Hill suggested connecting your affirmations to your daily belief. For example, say, "My faith always overcomes my fears," feeling your faith today. Hill would say, authentic daily faith is your strength. How will you make your daily faith authentic? Resilience in the face of daily adversity is vital, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that facing daily challenges with faith makes you unstoppable. Hill suggested using affirmations to stay strong. For example, on a difficult day, say, "Everything I need to succeed is already within me." Hill would say, daily adversity forges your greatness. How will you use your affirmations in your daily challenges? Clarity in daily purpose is essential, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that each day should have a clear purpose. Hill suggested aligning your affirmations with your goal for the day. For example, say, "I have the divine right to live in abundance, happiness, and fulfillment," while thinking about your purpose for today. Hill would say, a clear daily purpose is a day one. How will you give purpose to your daily affirmations? Daily inspired action is powerful, according to Napoleon Hill. He believed that affirmations should inspire passionate action. Hill suggested connecting with your passion when affirming. For example, say, "I am destined to create an extraordinary impact," feeling your enthusiasm. Hill would say, daily inspired action moves the universe. How will you make your affirmations inspire you daily? Gratitude for daily resilience is key, according to Napoleon Hill. He taught that being grateful for your daily strength amplifies it. Hill suggested saying, "Thank you for my resilience today." For example, after saying, My faith always overcomes my fears," give thanks for your strength today. Hill would say, gratitude for daily resilience creates more resilience. How will you give thanks for your daily resilience?